Hi guys, you're welcome to the Delaware Studios. This is another episode of Android programming. We'll be talking about how to create a customized theme color in an Android application. And we're going to be using the layout navigation drawer. This particular layout was created earlier in the video called Android Material Design Navigation Drawer Layout, the full tutorial. Now I'm actually going to create a situation whereby users have the ability to change to their preferred theme color from the settings right inside an application. So I'm actually going to be incorporating some few things inside this particular layout that was created earlier. First of all, we'll talk about using the library Material Color Picker, whereby we have the ability to pick color from a dialog, and we're actually going to be adding some code to actually translate the particular color picked to change the theme of the particular application of the particular theme used at present. So actually going to integrate this library manually, and I think I've explained times without number on how to actually integrate library manually into your Android application. You have to create the settings and do some other things. So actually going to be doing that. I'll be integrating the Material Color Picker manually into this particular application. So I'm actually going to the root of this application. It sits in the Android Studio, and I have it the navigation drawer, can you see there. So I'm actually going to paste in the folder that contains the source code of this library. So afterwards I'll be moving back to Android Studio to actually integrate it to this particular application. So right there in the settings, which is always the first to add up. Let me take away this. Now I'm going to give a comma, and I'll point at material. That's the name of the folder. Just color picker master. Just this way. After that, I'll go straight to the build Gradle, the module app of your application. You need to add the dependency, which is actually going to get the compile. So I'm going to run compile project. Now the path to where the library sits, and I'm going to call the name of the folder Material Color Picker Master. So before you synchronize Gradle, you need to add some dependencies right in the build Gradle projects session. So we're actually going to point to the Maven Gradle. We need it in the course of the library. So I'm going to create a class path. com.github descendant Android. Actually this is colon Maven Gradle plugin. We need that right inside the library 1.4.1 version. It's fine. So another class path. This would be from JFrog. Bean tray Gradle. Plugin. So we need these plugins to actually make the library work perfectly. So after the steps So you click on the sync now to actually synchronize your application. So you have it set for other integration. So after the full syncing, you're going to have the material color picker master. You can see the folder sitting as an application. It's a library used. So we're going to the app, which is the navigation drawer. Now we move to the rest. Let's get to look at this, the menu. Get to the menu, the activity main drawer. So we need to actually use these tools. This is actually going to be the settings icon. So I'm actually going to change this ID to settings. And these tools, I actually want it to be settings. So I can easily go to the string to modify that. So I change this to settings, preferably. That's fine. So I have it set. So from here, I'm actually going to create a layout file right in the layout, and I'm going to name it activity settings, which is actually going to hold on to that particular menu. So let me quickly create that. New layout resource file, activity settings. So we're creating a settings to actually set. Do you want to add the following file to Git? Oh, fine, because it's actually right there in Git. Let's make it sync with Git, so we still have it set. Now we have the activity settings right there. Now click on the text. So we need to actually include the layout needed for the settings. So it's a linear layout, whereby we have the layout with the height. Let's use field parent instead of match parent. Let's use field parent. The rotation is vertical. That's fine. And we're going to be introducing the toolbar, the Android widget toolbar. Android support version 7 widget toolbar. It's fine. We'll be assigning an ID. What about we call it toolbar settings? Setting. It's fine. We'll be assigning the layout width tonight. Layout width, match parent, Android, layout height. This is actually going to be calling the attributes, action bar size. It's fine. And we'll be including the app pop-up theme. So this is called the art style. We have the theme overlay, app compact light. Now let's get to import this part, enter breeze.in, and we have its theme. So we call the art style as the style XML. But we have app theme, app bar overlay. That's fine. So we close that. Now we introduce a scroll view. Layout with an height, match parent. We need to still assign an ID. But we'll get to do that let's assign an ID called Android ID, which will be scroll view. Let's make it to be all in lowercase. It's fine. Right inside the scroll view, we're going to have a linear layout. Layout with tonight match parent, wrap content. Our linear layout goes down. So let's create space over there. So let's move on. Now we're going to have the layout margin left. That's margin to the left, 10 dp. Another layout Android. So layout margin right, so 10 dp. And an orientation vertical. So after this, we'll have a text view. Text view. Layout with tonight wrap contents. We assign an ID, Android ID. What about we call it text? No, we must call it at ID. And we call it text view. Just give it our name, text view 3. And we must have an Android text. Let's call it custom. Let's hard code this. So just creating the settings once. Actually don't need it other places. Now Android layout margin left, 7 dp. So margin to the left. And let's have Android layout margin bottom, 2 dp. We're going to have margin to the top, layout margin top. This goes for 10 dp. And text style, that should be bold. It's fine. And text appearance, we call the Android attributes over there, and we call text appearance medium. Over there. That's fine. After set, right, I'm going to have a view whereby layout with match parent, layout height just 1 dp. Never mind. Let's give a background. Actually gonna be bringing that in, but let's create a color. Let's create a color for this. That's fine. Go to the colors.xml. Now create a color name. Color. Let's call it color settings, so we know where it's coming from. Hash 4 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. That's it. So back to the activity settings. Now we need to point it right. call at color, and we call the name, which should be color settings. That's fine. You see that? I'll close it right there. So we'll need to have another linear layout, all in a scroll view. Linear layout, layout width, match parent, and the height, we're going to just give it a dimension of 60 dp. That's fine. Now back to inside there, we're going to assign an ID. Definitely very important. Let's call it Android ID. Allow, select alarm. Really need yours, but let's move on. Let's move on. Gravity. Center vertical. And rotation. Horizontal this time. And let's give a background to it. Android background. This time we'll be calling the drawable. We're going to be creating that. Call it click background. So back to the drawable. Well, we have this over there. So let's create this XML file, new drawable resource file called click background. That's fine. This will actually house one or two things there. So click OK. We want it. Let's let it move with keys. No problem. So we have it set, the Android. Now we're going to have the item of each one. Let's have one item. Android. State pressed. Let's assign true. Now we'll be calling Android drawable. This time color. So we need another color. Call that color click. Back to the colors XML. You should know how to go about all these. It's quite simple. Now we're going to have a color name. Color click. And we'll get to look at what kind of color should we give that. Okay, I'll just make it simple. Let's just give hash ABCDEF, something of light blue, like a sky blue. That's fine. Back to the click background that goes off. So you have that set, and you need to actually close that right there. So let's close it. Fine. Now we are moving on. So we're going to go back to the activity settings to actually see how that flows. It's fine. Now we're going to have a text view right inside the linear layout. Now text view, layout width, no width. So what should be the height? Or let's just say layout width, wrap content, and the height also wrap content. That's fine. No problem with that. So we're going to have the layout width, Android layout width 1, Android layout margin left, so margin to the left 70p, and we're going to call Android text theme. So we have that specified. Now text appearance, first of all call Android attributes. Oh no, not that. Android attributes, text appearance medium. That's it. So we are right on the cursor, moving better. So we're going to have a button. So this button will actually trigger the material dialog colors. So width, height 50 to 50 dB, 50 dB, and we're going to have layout gravity, layout send to vertical, Android layout margin right 15 dB. That's cool. So let's have a view to handle the display of the dialog. Width and height match parent. That's the dB for the height. That's cool. And assign the background. Now we call the color, and we should call, what color do we call the other time? Color settings. Of the sets. That's the settings layout. We're just creating the settings layout all along. So from here we have the settings layout created, and we've actually changed the menu as well. So we still need to look at the styles. The styles XML, very important. Activity settings. So let's move straight to the styles XML. We have to integrate some stuff right here. So instead of this dark action bar, I'm going to change this to no action bar. Just this way. That's fine. So it's still right on course. So now we need to create the theme for different color, for red, for pink. That's how it goes. For dark pink, for violet, for blue, sky blue, green, gray, brown. So we must actually create themes for that, because we're on it with the theme with the colors coming from if you didn't create them. So let's copy this. We need a duplicate of that. The first one, app theme. So we give that underscore red. So we're still going to modify the content. Let's just have the structure. We give that underscore pink. We're going to give that color dark pink. Let's go dark pink. It's fine. So we're still going to paste another one. We're going to have violet. Let's paste another one, and this time will be blue. Let's paste another one, and it will be sky blue. Let's paste another one. It's going to be green. Let's paste another one. Gray. It's a gray color. Just gonna cover almost all colors. So users pick the preferred color as the theme. So you can have that in your application. Brown. Let's give brown. Let's wrap that up. Let's leave it at brown as the last. That's fine. Now we have them set, but if you notice, they are all having the same color, which that's not what we're really heading out. So we're going to actually create colors for each of those color codes you're seeing for the primary. That's just for the three. The primary dark, and for the accent. So we're going to actually come over here to actually create the color code, which is the color name. First color name for red, color primary. We're going to call that FF. So red. So it's going to be red. Color primary dark. This time will be red. Color accents. So I'm going to actually copy the structure, so we have that. So F 7 F 7 2 D. So this should be 7. That's fine. So I'm going to copy this. So that we'll continue to have the structure. We just need to modify. Now we're going to do for the pink. So over here, change this to pink. So color code will be E91 E63. So you have to get the colors right, or else it's actually not going to depict what you're really looking at. CB1755. So this will be pink. And this also will be pink. It's color code of it's for the accent. Let's pick 2095 F2. That's fine. So that's for the third one, which will be dark pink. 9. So because of time, let me just copy in the snippet. So we're actually going to save our time, but that's just how to create it. Let's save the time. So we have it set, the color codes for dark pink, violet, blue, sky blue, green, gray, and brown. These are all set and ready. So I'll need to integrate them inside here. We've actually not changed the color that is being pointed to. So let's just do the amend. Now, this is color primary, which is fine. This will be for what? For red. This is pointed to red. Color red gets changed. Same thing goes. The same thing here. Red. This is gonna be for pink. And the next one will be for dark pink. I'm going to change that. Dark pink. I'll just copy this. Paste. Dark pink. Dark pink. It's fine. I'm gonna make this underscore. We're going to have the next one, which is actually going to be for violet. Just take your time, don't be in a rush. No, this can be rewarding, but you need to achieve something. So you just have to take your time while programming. Violet. And we're going to have a blue. And the next one will actually be for sky blue. Next one will be for gray. Okay, this green rather, not this blue, this green, sky blue. I've modeled it up. This for violet. So we have them set accurately. This for the pink, for dark pink, for violet, for blue, also for sky blue, for green, for gray, and the last for brown. That's fine, which matched the colors name that was created underneath. That's cool. So from here, we will be heading to the Java classes. We need to create the logic of all these XMLs, colors, menus. So we have to integrate it right inside the Java code. So we have the file import, the gallery, main activity, which is the launcher, and the slideshow. These are all menus that were called in this particular structure. I'll be introducing 2 to 3 Java files. The first one will be the settings Java class. How about we call it settings activity. fine. Yes, let's make it stay. So we only have just one source to work with. That's fine. Now we have the settings activity, and this extends a compact activity. It's fine. We need to bring that in, and we're going to create shared preferences. Preferences over there. Shared preferences. Same thing goes. Now we call the editor. We need the editor. Call the button. Create an object. And now we're actually going to create the methods. So that we need the methods. We'll be creating that class. Methods. Never mind, we're gonna be creating that particular class. So from here, we're going to have the override, which is the create method. Protected. Void. Create. Save. States. It's fine. Call the super. Create. Save instance state. Now we set the theme. Should be taking cognizance of what is happening now. We have to set the theme. We need a constant class too. We're creating that. Theme. So I just have the structure and create the methods and the constant. So we'll come back. So let's get to create the constant and the method class so that we won't just be lost. Let's create the constant. That's fine. Let's include it. Now let's create another one which is going to be methods. That's fine. So right there in the constant, we need to create some constant fields. This is going to implement serializable, and the first one, constant value, will be public. Static integer nav click, send that to 0. Instead of use public. Static boolean is nav click, should be false. We're going to have public static boolean toggle true. To have another one, public static integer color which will be equals to 0xFFF67 2. theme, which will be our style app theme. That's the theme. That's fine. Integer nav click. So we have the constants. Now let's get to look at the methods. This is actually going to be the color theme, whereby we have the color codes for the red, pink, dark pink, violet, and so on. So let's get to integrate that. Now we're just going to call the public method void, and the method will be set color theme. So it's actually going to be a switch statement. The constant color will be the parameter used. First case, the color code is 0xFF. 6. To get that, you must be accurate with what you're doing. You call constant as a class, and you point it to the theme. You need a theme. As you're setting the theme now you're setting it to, you can see the way you're setting them. You're calling app theme. You'll be calling red. Over there. Break. The next case, let's copy this. Get to change the values. So this time it will be from here. It will be E91 E63 pink. That's fine. Another one. This time will be C27 B. Dark pink. Violet. So that will be 7 3 A B 7. Violet. Another one. This time will be blue. 3 F 5 1 B 5. This time it's going to be for sky blue. 3 A 9 F 4. Sky blue. Another case for green. Let's take your time. 4 C A F 5 0 green. Next one will be for the app theme itself, which will be that as well. We have a gray. Let's do this. It should be for gray. Call this gray. We're going to have for brown, which is the last. 7, 9, 5, 4, 8. Call that brown. And after all this test, let the default be the acting called constants. Theme. Test star. Theme as the default. Break. That's fine. So we have the methods set and ready. So back to the settings. So right there, we just continue with the code. So we'll be free to make calls to the methods and the custom without any worries. Now the content view will be layout, activity settings over there. So we call the final toolbar object from it, and we need to get find view by ID. Unless fine, still gonna work. Toolbar settings. Now we use the toolbar. So let's set the title. Let's call it settings. And call toolbar again. Set background color, which will actually call from the constant color. That's fine. We're moving on. Now let's instantiate the methods class. New methods. So we're going to use the object called the button. Get to find the view by ID, which is our ID. Button color. Now the button, definitely we didn't assign an ID to the button color or to the button itself. So let's go back to the activity settings and let's look at it over there. We didn't assign an ID, so let's assign it ID. Call that button, which should be color. That's fine. Back to the settings. You should have that cleared. So we move on with. After this method, we're going to actually call the shared preferences about get shared preferences settings as a string, and we call mode private. call the editor, set the shared preference, call the edit method. That's fine. Now we're going to call a method called colorize. We get to create a method. Underneath, definitely we still have to create a method. We call it right in the create method. So let's actually move on. We need to call that method later on. Now let's create a listener to the button. So we're going to call set click listener. Instantiate new view click listener over there. So we're going to actually override the on click. You should know how to do this by now. We've been doing a lot of on click listeners in previous tutorials. Now on click, pass the view and object v. So this time we call the choose. We call the color, or choose the dialog. This is from the material color picker. Can you see this? No, it's actually from the material color picker. Choose the dialog, create an object, dialog. Now we instantiate new color, choose the dialog, settings, activities, no one using this class. Now the dialog, you're going to set the title, which will be select. Also in the dialog, you're going to set color listener, which will instantiate color listener. That's fine. It's created the on color click for us. So we're going to do whatever we want with the values. You can change the image view, you can set the background color, and so on. But I'm going to call the colorize method in here. We get to create that method. So never worry for that. Now we call the constant color. So we assign it to a variable called color. Afterwards, we call the methods. The only method we have is the color thing. So we set the color thing right there. Now the editor of the shared preference, we're going to put, we're trying to save that value. That's why we use the shared preference. We're saving it. Put the integer into the shared preference. This time, the color should be set with the value of the color passed, which is the value of the color clicked in. That's what this is doing. So just know what the logic is all about. It's not a magic. So the editor, you're going to put integer. This time the theme. So the theme value will be the constant theme, while editor, please apply this. That's so. Now, after the editor might have saved all the values in the shared preference, we now called the intent. So I'm just bring it in straight. Sheet. Now we're going to call the settings, activity, main activity, class. So it's actually going to push to the main activity. It will stay there after the change. So the intent, set flags. Now, intent, flag, activity to clear the top. So start activity, intent. That's fine. Pretty much. Okay, so now we need to show the dialog over here. Call dialog, show. That's fine. So let's have something quickly. We're going to have the option item selected, and we're also going to have the colorize method after over here. That's going to be outside the click and outside the create method. So let's quickly do that. Right, public boolean on options, item selected, menu, item, let's import this. Now I'm having a switch statement. Item get item ID. It's fine. So first case will be 100, just back, just the 100 back. Oh, it's on backrest. Break. Need to return the super on option item select. So pass the item as parameter. Close it here. Close the break also over there. That's fine. Cool. We need to create the colorize method. So now we need to target API, which will be build version codes, jelly. It's fine. So let's call this method private void colorize. So inside this method, we're going to call the shape drawable. Shape drawable. Send an object D equals instantiate new shape drawable and passing new overall shape. That's fine. So let's use the D. to set bounds. 58, 58, 58, 58. So that's fine. Now we get to paint. Get paint. Set style. Over there. Call the paint class and the style from the graphics and fill up. Fill up. Still need the paint. Set color. Now we call the constant. Pass in the color. So now the button, we're gonna set background. This background as the painted. That's fine. So we have the settings much set. We use the paint to actually paint up to colorize the overall, because we actually need to set the color overall. Where we're going to have the red color, the blue, the yellow, sky blue, the brown. That should actually form over right on the dialog. That's what this particular colorize method will be doing. So that's fine. We've set it. We have our settings activity full and working, but we need to integrate it with other classes, majorly with the main activity. The main activity should have the ability to call the settings, or else it's just standing on its own without any handshake with other classes. So for us to actually do this, we need to, after the saved instance state, before you are creating the activity main layout, you have to call the set theme to pass the constant theme. You have to pass that right inside there. So we have it. So we set the support action bar toolbar, and now after this, we need to also pass in the toolbar set background. You need to set the background color. Background color, which is actually going to be constant color. Just this way, after doing this, you're ready, and you need to include it inside the on navigation item selected. You need to include its particular ID. So you have to copy all this, copy this, come over here, paste it right there. Now the ID will be worth settings, and the main activity, it's not going to move to the class, so it's actually going to move to settings activity. So you need to call that activity from other menu. So that's just what that is doing. So that's fine. You have that set. You need to close it up over there. Just close it up like this. The same thing you're going to do to other classes, the file import, the gallery, and also the slideshow. Please do that. Include it, and after doing that, you get set to test all. So right there in the manifest, just maintain the app theme. Since the app theme is pointing to the no action bar, so you just don't have to worry. Let's look at the styles. Since it's pointing to the theme app compat no action bar, so just maintain the app theme. So from here, we'll be testing and let's see how this application look right there in the emulator. So stay tuned. Navigation drawer activity called the navigation drawer full demo. So let's not forget, you need to include the settings activity right inside the manifest, just like the way you're seeing right there. The settings activity is very important. You have to include that portion, settings activity, or else once you click on settings menu, it's actually not going to open. It's going to crash. So let's get to test this out. So our navigation drawer, we have the gallery, import slideshow. Now we have the settings. They click on settings. We have the custom settings where we have the theme. This theme, now let's click on this oval button. Can you see the dialog with different colors? We have for blue, sky blue, violet, we have for yellow, we have for brown, we have for green. So let's click on green. Let's see what's going to happen. Can you see that? Can you see that the primary colors, that's the action bars, have all changed? You know, for all, let's get to look at other aspects. The alloy, you can see they've changed. Let's get to look at import. Can you see? The top bar, no, the theme entirely the theme has changed. So you can actually incorporate when it comes to even the primary color for text. You can also even incorporate the FAB, which is the floating action button. You know, if you integrate it right inside your application, you can also change the theme of that with this particular snippet. So let's get to change to another color theme. This time, let me go for this. Can you see that? Can you see it changed for all other aspects, for all other activities? It's actually used this particular customized color theme. So let's change to another one. Let's go for red. Can you see that? Can you see how beautiful you can actually give your users the ability to change to the desired theme? You know, let's look at another one. Let's go for, I see that brown. That's fine. So this is how to actually achieve this integration. So leave any comments right there in the comment section if you have a problem whatsoever. Anywhere, I will be there to assist you. Thank you very much for hanging out with me throughout this particular tutorial, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Have a pleasant time.